The neighbor who went too far. When my parents bought our house, it was supposed to be a fresh start. We had just moved out of a cramped apartment into a quiet suburban neighborhood, hoping for peace and privacy. The houses were close together though, and from our kitchen window, we could see straight into our neighbor's dining room. My mom hated it. She said it felt like we were living in a fishbowl. So my dad, ever the fixer, spent thousands of dollars putting in a lush green wall of tall shrubs and flowering plants. It wasn't just about blocking the view. It was about making our home feel like ours, a sanctuary. For a week it was perfect. My mom finally felt comfortable cooking dinner without closing all the blinds, and my dad took pride in watering those plants every evening. But one morning we woke up to devastation. Every single plant had been hacked down to the root. It looked like a chainsaw massacre in our yard. My dad, red with fury, marched over to our neighbor, Mr. Harlan, a grumpy territorial man who had been giving us side eyes since the day we moved in. Harlan didn't even flinch. He told my dad the plants were on his property, and therefore he had every right to remove them. He even threatened, saying if anything ever crossed onto his side again, he'd call the authorities. My mom cried that night, furious that thousands of dollars had just been destroyed. But Dad wasn't going to give in. He called the landscaping company, explained what happened, and thankfully, because of the warranty, they agreed to replant everything the following week at no cost. This time the crew made sure every root was firmly on our side of the line. A few days later, just when things seemed settled, Dad woke up in the middle of the night to the sound of snapping branches. He looked outside and caught Harlan in the act, chopping down the new plants at 2 a.m. like some deranged garden burglar. This time Dad called the police. The officers had a chat with Harlan, and he smugly repeated his claim about the property line. My father, tired of the nonsense, suggested something simple. Let's get a professional surveyor to officially mark the boundaries. Harlan agreed, confident he was right. A few days later, bright orange stakes and tape appeared in the yards. When Dad got home from work, he couldn't help but laugh. Harlan's fence wasn't on the property line at all. It was 11 feet into ours. For years, he'd been enjoying a chunk of our land without even realizing it. The fury on Harlan's face when he was forced to tear down his fence was priceless. He lost nearly a quarter of what he thought was his backyard, while we gained extra space we never knew belonged to us. Within a month, our new plants were blooming again, this time with even more room to grow. To make it worse for him, the court ruled in our favor, ordering Harlan to pay nearly $10,000 in damages for destroying our property. In the end, my parents got their privacy, our backyard grew by a whole section, and Harlan learned the hard way that greed and arrogance can cost you dearly.